Oh, we can all climb down.
Oh, yeah. How are you?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So we should be feeling a little bit more mobilised now in our joints and our muscles, feeling a little bit warmer. We're going to move into the main phase, which is a group of exercises based on the original Pilates exercises, which we've modified for beginners class. So hopefully there'll be something everyone can do. We don't want to strain, so we want to relax and enjoy it. We begin by rolling down into a kneeling position. So tuck our chin into our chest, keep our knees soft, and slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, roll ourselves down into a kneeling position. Anybody with any issues? We'll be here for a few minutes, so do by all means put the a cushion underneath your knees if that would help. Okay, lovely. So come up onto your knees, and we want to imagine ourselves keeping a tall posture, tall in the spine. Nice. Imagine we've got a string pulling our head up from the crown, and we're going to begin by lifting we start with our left arm. We're going to raise our left arm and reach over to the other side, whilst at the same time sliding our arm down down towards our knee. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So we breathe in to prepare, keeping our abdomen tucked in, raise our left arm and side bend, feeling a nice stretch along our obliques there, and pointing our opposite arm towards the floor. Okay, so if you're ready to do that, we'll start with our left arm first. Let's breathe out, breathe in. Jan, you might, because of your arm injury, you might not want to do that whole motion. Okay, so maybe just keep that arm down and do a side bend, just the shoulder. That's lovely. And then exhale to inhale to come back. Bring the arm down. Do the other side. Think about keeping your body tall whilst keeping your tummy tucked in, your tailbone tucked under. You don't want to be rocking or moving backwards and forwards in the hips or the knees. Breathe in, exhale, so come back. That's great. So we're going to carry on in your own time. We'll do 4 more on either side. Okay. You okay, Jackie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I right from my head.
Any aches or any pains, just reduce the range of movement and try and move with the breath. So we exhale as we move our arms and reach over, and inhale to come back. Can you feel that stretch in the abdomen?
Yes.
Right. A good stretch for moving that area. It's lovely. Great. When you think you've done the same amount either side, then we're going to come onto all fours to a 4-point kneeling position. And this we want to begin to mobilise the back, but let's think about getting ourselves in the right position. So we want our wrists underneath our hip. No, we don't. We want our wrists underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. Think about having our index finger pointing towards the top end of the mat. We want to engage our abdominals, and we want to keep our neck in line with our spine. So we're looking towards the top of the mat, but we don't want to add any strain to our neck. So first of all, we want to just engage our abdomen and begin to move our spine into that cat-like pose. So we're stretching up on the exhale, and then as we inhale, we come back to that neutral position. So it's a flat back, neutral position, and then again, just to get that stretch in our right the way along through our back, our upper spine, our middle and our lower, as we breathe out into the cat position, and then again to lower. Okay. Now, keeping that position, keeping stable in the hips, abdomen engaged, we want to do an exercise. It's called Superman. So there's a couple of versions for it. In the first version, I'd like you to just move your right arm forward and then bring it back. And your left arm forward, bring it back. Carry on doing that for a few more times whilst keeping yourself really stable in the hips. If you look fantastic, actually, there's very little movement there in the back of the hips. You've got that tray of drinks which are not spinning, ladies. Very important. It's lovely. Jan, does your neck feel okay?
It's fine, thank you.
That's great. Okay, and that's really good. If you can keep that stability, we're going to move our legs now one at a time, keeping those drinks on the tray, keeping that neck in alignment with the spine. Going to lift the one leg back and lower. So breathe in, and as we breathe out, lift the leg, bring it back. So it's nice, controlled, precise movements that we do in sequence with the breath. That's really good. It's very key, this one, for keeping a stable core and a stable back. Make sure you don't move your eye gaze too far forward or towards your hands too much, so that will put your neck out of alignment. Sue, could you just look a little bit lower, more towards the middle of the mat?
Yes,
Like that? Yes, that's okay. Okay. And if you think you've got the hang of that, ladies, and you're after more of a challenge, then want to try and do opposite arm and opposite leg whilst keeping that stability in the core and the back. That's lovely. Remember that the breath work, so we're breathing out as we do the movement. Inhale to come back. Exhale to breathe out. Lovely.
Are we doing alternate legs?
Yes, opposite arm, opposite leg.
And the other side as well?
Yes. Don't only do that, Jackie, if you feel
Yeah.
you've got the stability. Maybe open your knees a bit more so that they're more in line with your hip. Then your shoulders, no, your hips. I'll get this right eventually. Lovely, that's it. So it's all about stability. Only do as much as you can whilst maintaining that stability in the core and the back. That's lovely. Okay, if you want to, on your last one, come back into a child's pose and give your wrists a little bit of a break from that pressure. That's lovely. Feel that stretch there in your back. Take some deep breaths in and out. Lovely. Okay. So if you can come back onto all fours, we're going to do a lovely exercise called Thread the Needle, one of my favourites. There's different versions, and for a beginner's class, we very often we get the position of the stability, so we are keeping a neutral spine, we're engaging our abdomen and our pelvic floor, we're keeping our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips, and thinking about putting weight into one side first. So if we think about putting our weight into our left hand, whilst we take our right arm out to the side. Some people find that if you think you're holding a beach ball and you're going to move that beach ball underneath the opposite arm. So and bring it back again. So breathe in, breathe out, bring it under the other arm, holding that beach ball. Come back. Can you feel that movement, that spinal twist? I'd like to take that another step forward. So keep your arm up here and inhale to prepare. And as we exhale, we're going to slide that along the bottom of the mat. Turn our hand upwards, so palm facing up, and slide it under, right the way down, underneath that arm. And the left arm, supporting arm, will want to bend. Let it bend so that you can put your shoulder and your ear on the mat. And just hold that position while keeping your hips straight. Just for a few seconds, breathe in there. Really feel that stretch. Does that feel like a good stretch? Yeah. Okay. And then come back to the starting position and do a few more of those. Either that option or the beach ball option, whichever one. Jan, it's probably not, you're not able to do that full range of movement,
Okay.
are you? So just, that's lovely. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Remember to breathe in as you bring your arm up, and then breathe out as you thread that needle through. Maybe just a couple more on this side before we do the opposite side. Oh, don't worry, as long as you feel even on either side.
That was fine on that side. So are we still doing the same side that we started?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
Okay. So if we do the other side, start off with the beach ball motion, and then we'll do some more of the deep stretches with the want to make sure we're even on either side. But yes, this is a great exercise for getting a good deep spinal twist. At the same time as we're keeping the stability in our hips. It's easy for them to flare out, but you all look like you're keeping your hips really lovely and straight as you do that. When you think you've done enough and you've evened out on either side of your spine, then just have a nice stretch back into a child's pose.
Do you want us to stretch right now?
Yeah, so if you can hold that for a few seconds, if you can, Jackie, so you can
Do
really
you want
feel
that arm
stretch.
straight?
It doesn't, no, it can be bent. Bring it closer to you, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's lovely. Okay. Enjoy that stretch out in child's pose when you've finished. Lovely. Take some deep breaths in and out. I'm going to move on to our front into a diamond press. So if you can make a diamond shape with your hands, and you want to place your forehead in that diamond shape when you're lying flat on the floor in front. I'm just going to come and have a look. If you get into that position, I just want to make sure that your necks are in alignment with your back. Jackie, does that feel comfortable for you?
Yeah,
Or do
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, if I look okay, that's fine.
You might want to have your legs pointing outwards slightly towards the feet, towards the corner of the mat. That just gives us a little bit more stability in the beginner's section. So, first thing we want to think about is engaging our abdominal muscles. It's not something we do in this position very often, but really want to think about pulling them in. Imagine you've got a belt tightening around your waist, a couple of notches. You keep the breath in and out while you engage the abdominal muscles. And then what we want to do is inhale to prepare, and as we exhale we're going to lift our head and our shoulders and our chest up off the mat, only a few inches. So on the exhale, come up, but you've come up a little bit too far there, Carol, so we want to keep looking down towards that diamond. You can either bring the diamond up with you, or you can keep them. That's right, that's one option. That's lovely. That helps us to keep our head or neck from moving too high up. In fact, probably best try that as well, Jackie, and Sue.
Bring it up.
And Jan, if you can, yes. Keep your head in. That's okay. That's probably a little bit too far, Jackie.
Okay, so.
Okay. So breathe in, and then as you breathe out, come up, just looking down at the mat. Breathe in and exhale to come down. So what we're doing now is we're sort of stretching. We're stretching our chest while keeping our neck and our shoulders engaged. Keeping the abdomen engaged. That's really working the lower spine as well. That's really lovely. That's great. So keep your legs from moving if you can. And just one more. I'm going to ask you to come onto your back. Okay, if you come into lying on your back with your knees hip distance apart, your arms down by your side. So when you've found that nice comfortable position, so just take a couple of deep breaths there. In through your nose, out through your mouth. That's lovely. So this exercise involves us understanding what our neutral pelvis feels like, so that when we engage our pelvis for a shoulder bridge, we can start by imprinting that lower back as we move up the vertebrae till we get to our shoulders. So, and I suggest you put your hands in diamond shape and put your fingertips on the top of your pubic bone and the heel of your hands on your hips. So as you tilt forwards, as you tilt your spine, let me get this right now because it's quite complicated for me to explain it. So what we're looking for is when we tilt our pelvis forwards, we're imprinting the lower part of our spine into the mat. Can you feel that? Is that right? And then as we move our pelvis in the opposite direction now.
It's the other way around. Yes.
So
pelvis forward, arched back. Yes.
Do you say pelvis forward that way, or are you saying pelvis forward that way?
So pelvis coming towards you.
Oh, yoga with that back pelvis, back rock.
Back rock. Okay, it's got different names, hasn't it? In different.
So you want us to feel that. So for us, that's a pelvic tilt back.
Okay, so pelvic tilt back. We want to feel the lower part of our spine imprinting into the mat.
Are we lifting up?
No, we're not at the moment.
Okay.
So we're just going to experience that pelvis moving in different directions. So as we move it forward, the fingertips go down towards the floor, and we have a little gap in the bottom of our spine. Okay, so just
Yeah.
feel that
Yeah, I
movement
feel
backwards
that.
and forwards.
Yeah,
It's
it's
nice.
nice.
Yeah, I can, it's nice.
So, lovely. So lovely. So now we're going to put our arms down by our side, and we're going to engage that pelvis. We're going to tip it back so that we can roll up all of our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, peeling up off the mat. It's a nice slow movement. So moving into that shoulder bridge. Breathe in at the top, and as you come down on the exhale, vertebrae by vertebrae. It's a lovely controlled movement. Is that okay on your shoulder, Jen?
It's fine, thank you.
So we'll do that again. So we're peeling from the pelvis, from the very base of our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae up to a shoulder bridge. Hold it if you can for a breath in, and then come down vertebrae by vertebrae on the exhale. I want to try and keep relaxed across the chest. Does that feel okay?
Thank you.
Okay. If you, Jackie, how's that?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
You might want to try when you are up in the shoulder bridge to bring your arms over your head, and if that works for you, then take a breath in and then lower your spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae, and then bring the arms in when you've reached the starting position.
Keep going.
So yeah, keep going all the way over. That's right, lovely. That's great, Jackie. Take a breath in, and then on the breath out, bring your arms back to the starting position. Lovely controlled movement. So keep that abdomen engaged all the time. Don't put any pressure on your neck as you're coming back, because we want to keep our neck flat. Two more in your own time. Last one. Well done. It's lovely. So if you stay in the position on your back, just have a rest for a minute. We're going to do what's called preparation for the 100. So the 100 is a foundational exercise in Pilates, and it's called the 100 because it involves 100 breaths. So it's usually in 10 sets of 10, 5 seconds breathing in and 5 seconds breathing out. So if you're able to watch me from that position, I'll just demonstrate this first, the first option. So, those back my hair bubble. So nice flat back, neutral spine. We have our hands down by our side. So we're going to first of all engage the abdomen, engage those deep core muscles as we lift one leg up to tabletop, and then lift the other leg up to tabletop. So we want to be in this position before we then lift our head and shoulders up off the mat and raise our arms, hover our arms a couple of inches off the top of the mat. So we breathe in for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to aim for 100 counts. But if at any point your neck feels uncomfortable, you want to keep your eye gaze through your thighs. But if it feels uncomfortable, then lower your neck and shoulders down, but carry on pulsing and carry on with your legs in the air if you can. Does that sound
Yeah.
something you could do?
Doable, yeah. Sounds quite hard, but
That's the easy version.
Is
it?
Well, it's the easier version.
Okay.
But it's a good one to start with.
Yeah.
So think about your breathing. Always engage your core before you begin to lift your legs up. So I'm going to ask you to come back down,
All right,
ladies. Okay. So first of all, let's think about breathing in to prepare, and then breathe out. Engage those deep abdominal muscles and lift one leg up to tabletop, and then bring the other one up to tabletop. That's lovely. Okay. So breathe in, and then as you exhale, bring your shoulders and head up off the mat, and extend your arms forward and hover them a couple of inches from the mat. So we breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. If at any point your neck is hurting, then do bring it back onto the mat. You'll want to keep your eye gaze so it's looking through your thighs. Sue, are you able to?
Yeah.
To look?
Through.
Yeah, so through your thighs. That's lovely. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So don't strain. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You've got strong core muscles there. If you're able to bring yourself up slightly to look through, that's wonderful. Yeah, lovely. Now I've lost count, so when you think you've done that's great. That's lovely. Then lower your head and shoulders first, and then your legs. Lovely. Pull your knees into your chest and have a little wobble.
You do wobbling as well.
That is great. Wonderful. So I think we've only got our sides left to do. So please take a few deep breaths and then come over onto your sides. If you could come onto is it your left? Is it you all on your left side?
Yeah.
That way?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So what we want to do here is we want to lie as straight as we can in a straight line, where we've got our hips stacked and our head resting on our outstretched arm, which is as straight as it can possibly be in line with the body. We want to be able to just see the tops of our toes, and use the top arm to support if needed, because we want to try and keep in this still position, and we want to feel long in the body. We might have a little gap between, there's not a very big gap for me, but there might be a small gap between your ribs and the mat. So we're going to think about, it's really about that length that we want to experience. So if we flex our feet and to lift the top leg, we breathe in to prepare, and as we exhale, lift that leg any to about hip height and lower. Lift and lower. So you carry on for a few more of those. I just want to come and check your alignment there. Okay. There is the option to have a cushion underneath your head, but it looks like let me just check. Oh, that looks fine. Yeah. It's lovely. So lift and lower. Lift and lower. And then the next one, don't lower it, keep it up, and then point our toes, and we do some small circles. So you've done this before. Lovely, that's great. So keeping our torso still, keeping those pelvic floor muscles and our deep abdominal muscles activated as we breathe. It's giving us nice stability. If you feel that you're really stable in that position, try putting your hands on your hips, that's it, or even up in the air. So change direction, and then
Is it the whole leg or just the ankle?
well, it's actually leg circles. Thanks for that. It's a good point, John. Yeah. I think it's important to move our ankles, but yeah, this is really we're looking at making circles with the whole leg. Imagine you're drawing, got a pencil at the end of your big toe and you're drawing on the wall, small circles, lovely, and then lower down. That's great.
Quite
Just-
strong.
We're going to turn over and do the side, please. You're doing a great job.
Top of the class.
So, would you mind?
Don't
Turn
worry.
around. Yeah, it's always awkward to get everyone in the right
Yeah,
position.
cool.
But,
No problem.
So we're thinking about long length in the body, resting our outstretched arm, resting the head on our outstretched arm, and we want to make sure there's no strain in the neck there. To be able to see our toes. Okay, can I just adjust you? So we want to. Did you need a cushion?
Maybe,
Yeah.
I could use it.
Okay. How's that?
Yeah, it's much better.
Okay, lovely.
Makes a change for you, Jan, doesn't it? Makes a change for you being looked after.
Okay, so engage those abdominal muscles. Breathe in to prepare, and then as we exhale, lift that leg to about shoulder height, keeping our feet flexed. That just activates that lower leg. And use the opposite arm to give us some support if we need that. Okay. We lift and lower. Maybe not so high. Just lift it to hip height. Yeah. It's more challenging then because it really forces us to engage our abdominal muscles. It's really lovely. Everyone's being nice and stable in the hips there. Stretching your body out long. Okay. And then on the next one, we do some leg circles. So we're aiming for about 8 in one direction. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change direction. Okay. Remember to use the breath for the movement. That's fine. You only do as much as you can do. That's lovely. When you've done 8, then just lie on your back and have a stretch. That's lovely. Just take some breaths in and out. So we've completed that main stage, ladies. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to a warm down. Just enjoy lying on your back for a few minutes, concentrating on your breath. Thank you.